Welcome to episode 97. Fire. That's crazy, isn't it? 97?
Yep.
Here we are. I have some new candles.
Yay.
Yes, Betsy found these in a shop in New Orleans.
Cool.
Yep, she said she wants to come see me on the road. She's in Ohio. Well, how about Warren, Ohio, Betsy? I'll be coming there. I'd never truly heard of it. I don't know what's happened in Warren, Ohio, but they got some money clearly from their Performing Arts Center to book people, because me and a bunch of people are doing it. So, hello, Warren, Ohio. Other than that, I'll be in Cincinnati. Right by Cincinnati. Those are in the fall. Yeah. So she sent me Stevie, and it says Saint Stevie the White Witch, and then Cher, our diva of perpetual fashion and style. There's Cher. The Stevie one's really good. And then Saint Dolly, the Beloved. Oh. Yeah, speaking of which, Dolly, I don't have much Queen news this week, but Dolly, I got to get my screenshot of this because somebody sent it to me. One of you termites sent it to me on Twitter. The governor of Maine, Janet Mills. Oh, okay. My sound was off. I don't know what that sound was. But,
somebody likes you.
Governor Janet Mills. She's the governor of Maine. Honestly say I'd never heard of her. She was proud to join iconic singer-songwriter Dolly Parton to announce that the state of Maine is launching a statewide expansion of Dolly Parton's Imagination Library.
Yay!
Mm-hmm. Good job. That's all I have of the Queens. I think they're having a quiet summer, minus Tanya's out there on the road. And Shaka has some offbeat events that here they're sprinkled, if you will. Sprinkled around. What are we drinking? Well, a little Tennessee. Tennessee Brewworks State Park Blonde Ale. There's a picture of this man.
I like it.
I don't know who he is on it. Cher Brute. This is right from Nashville. It's delicious.
Nice.
Yeah. So good for that. Thank you again, Betsy, for these candles. Once Stevie and them burn out, we have backups. It's good to know because twice now I've left these all on. I thought they were out. Yeah. Forever. I could have set the whole house on fire over a free podcast. What are we tasting? Well, we're tasting this extra toasty Cheez-Its.
Extra toasty?
Yeah, they look kind of almost burnt. No, kind of. But they're really good. If you're a Cheez-It person and you like your Cheez-Its that are more the ones that are kind of overdone, here you go.
I like Cheez-Its.
Get a whole bag of them. Yeah. That's what we're trying there.
Great.
Yeah. Then I'm going to try Brianna. Everybody knows this dressing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Delicious.
pretty. Yeah. But this is their classic buttermilk ranch. I don't know that I've ever had it because this always looks too fancy. I don't buy it normally. I'm doing the word of the Lord, and I bought it for the podcast, but I don't normally go that fancy for dressing in the house. We'll see.
No.
Kind of tangy. I don't know. I'd use it as a dip.
What do the Kroger people say to you? You buy a lot of dressing.
The lady at Kroger, well, one lady's special needs, and she usually just tries to get me to buy a carabiner clip for my plastic bags.
You do it?
I have done it because I think she gets money when I do it, but there comes a limit. Anna, you got to get some. You got to start hawking something else because I really didn't even want the first one, and then when I did it, she went yes. So I know she gets some money or something, or she's just proud of herself. I don't know. How about Old El Paso zesty ranch sauce? I don't know about this. It's not my thing, but it's this color.
It's a weird color.
Yeah, it's orangey.
Maybe.
That's a maybe. Yeah, I don't. No, I could live without that in the house. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that was kind of a no-win taste test, except for the toasty Cheez-Its. They're good. There's a gag on that cracker.
Nice.
And special announcement, termites. The new Pubcast T-shirts have come in. Long sleeve. Everybody seems to like long sleeve better.
Yep.
Some of the old ones are still up there in a couple sizes. If you got, if you want the black ones.
Yep.
And then these are navy with pink.
Cool.
Yep, it says Madigan's Dock and Bar. And then there's pink oars.
It's a lake theme.
It's a lake shirt for, you know, when you're sunburned and after you take a shower, you just kind of want to put on a long sleeve shirt no matter how hot it is. The short sleeves, I don't know. People don't like them as much. No. Is that true, Termites? Is that your vote? Long sleeve? I prefer a long sleeve t-shirt. I mean, not in the heat of the day. It's 100 degrees here right now. But, you know, at nighttime. Okay, my phone is off, and I don't know. Let me turn it off. Why it's still making noises. Uh-oh. I'm going to get a new phone next week. That should be horribly upsetting. I'm sure. Yeah. I think I'm the only lady walking in looking for the S22 Android. And then I'm the lady that I go, well, wait, I have a 10. What happened to 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21?
Yep.
I don't know, lady. They just did that. I'm like, you're not playing my game, are you? Are you, Anthony? Come on, man. I don't know. I hate doing it. They said they'll switch all my stuff over in the store. I'm sure they hate seeing me. Yeah. I'm sure they're like, oh, fuck, here comes that lady. The one lady is a termite. The youngster, she's nice because I think she already knew who I was. Yeah. And she's like, you're not really that comedian. Like, are you? I go, yeah, so if you could just put up with my complete bullshit and lack of interest. Because I just want her hand to the phone and go, can I come back like tomorrow and you'll just make it the same? And she does it. They do it. T-Mobile's great. I mean, I make fun of Sprint in my act, but the kids that work at T-Mobile, A+. All of them. Because I'm so behind, I still had a Sprint SIM card in here. And my texts weren't working right. I couldn't send anything with a picture. It was very strange. Mm-hmm. And the guy's like, do you still have a Sprint SIM card in there? And I'm like, wouldn't know if I did or I didn't, sir. Probably. Here. You do it. You do it. And he did it for nothing. I mean, I had to buy the card. It was like $6, whatever.
Worth it.
Update! How many people were wondering what Boris Becker is doing in prison? No. Our little German tennis player, the one that got sentenced to 2 years in prison, they talked about him at Wimbledon, too. They said, oh, my God, and St. Louis got a shout-out in the British Open. Because, yeah, but this will make people hate us even more. Because people always accuse the St. Louis Cardinal fans of being arrogant, like we're know-it-alls, which I'm not. I don't know everything about baseball. But the announcers during the British Open, if you don't watch golf, if you don't care about golf, it's called the British Open. They call it the Open. We call it the British Open. He said, there's some of the most knowledgeable fans in all of golf here at St. Andrews, much like the St. Louis Cardinal baseball fans. Oh! I know. I almost dropped my coffee. I'm like, how do they know that? All the way over there. Anyway, during Wimbledon, they were all saying, John, what's his face? They were all saying they wish Boris well. They miss him. They're very sorry he's in prison. Well,
prison. I mean, come on.
You know, you do bad things, you go to prison.
Yeah.
That's usually what happens.
Agreed.
And he had enough money to get good lawyers, so you can't say, well, he's one of the people who got screwed because he didn't have any money. Right. He says he was hiding money. He still had money. He could have taken the money he hid and given it to a lawyer. Right. And Boris Becker has sparked outrage amongst his fellow inmates by landing a cushy job in jail. The fallen tennis star has been made a classroom assistant teaching sports science to other lags. I don't know what a lag is. At HMP Huntercombe. I guess that's his prison. But his rapid elevation to the sought-out-after position has prompted other prisoners' families to write letters of protest to the governor. One insider said you would normally serve years before getting a job as a classroom assistant, as it is seen as a privilege. But Becker has been given the job within weeks of being sentenced. There's a lot of resentment about it, said some of the families of prisoners that have written letters of complaint. 3 times Wimbledon Becker was jailed for 2.5 years in April for hiding $2.5 million of his assets and loans to avoid paying debts made after being made bankrupt. He is serving his sentence at the Category C prison near Henley-on-Thames in Oxfordshire.
Oh.
Well,
That sounds fancy.
all right, I wonder if they get tea. Like, probably, right?
High tea.
High tea. In his role, the 54-year-old teaches PE theory and the benefits of exercise and diets to cons in a classroom at the jail, which has a high proportion of foreign inmates. However, he's not working in the jail's gym as he does not have enhanced prisoner status because he has not served enough time behind bars yet. The insider added, it's not exactly the life of luxury he's used to, but he's got it better than most inmates. Becker is facing automatic departure at the end of his sentence. He must serve half of his term because he is not entitled to an electronic tag as a foreign prisoner. But he is hopefully being repatriated to his native Germany by November at the latest, under the government's early removal scheme. Becker believes he will then be released into the community before Christmas under the softer German penal system. The 6-time Grand Slam champ was allowed to watch Wimbledon. Oh, he got to watch it behind bars. Maybe that's why they were shouting him out.
Yep.
He said he's been thrilled by the Djokovic, who he coached between 2014 and 16, clinching his 7th men's title. Djokovic's a jackass. And that other guy seemed psycho. I don't even follow tennis really closely, but that guy from Australia, I mean, he was just screaming at people. Very strange. Yeah. His trial centered on his bankruptcy in 2017 and an unpaid loan on his estate in Majorca. He was obliged to disclose all assets to creditors who owed nearly $50 million, but he failed to do so. Oh, Bori. Little Boris. It's not that long if you only got to go stay till Christmas. Stop your whining. You're a young man. You'll be fine. Now, I'm going to give this brief update, but I'm really get into it next week because there's a lot I want to read. So everybody knows the Murders, the podcast, who I got to meet, Manny Matney, very, very nice person. And her boyfriend's soon to be husband, I think. And I didn't get to meet their dog, but they have a really cute dog on Instagram. It's got 2 different color eyes. Luna. She's worked so hard on this, and they finally, murder charges are pending for for Alex murder, that he shot his wife and his kid out at that kid. So he may have already been charged by now. I printed that out earlier in the week.
It's awful. It's awful.
He's also finally disbarred. I mean, this shit takes so long, and the diligence of the Mandys to keep on it. Like, I would just be like, I am so tired of this. Like, I would quit. That's why I was not a good journalist. I was like, oh, he's rich and white and Southern. He'll get off on all of it. Why am I fighting this fight? Well, he's not getting off. But I mean, they say, I'm going to go get into it next week, but just know that the state intended to, at least 2 days ago, charge him with the murder, double homicide of his wife and younger son. I mean, not even meth heads shoot their kids.
No.
I mean, this is like a level of drug. Is it just drug? What a psycho. Like, he probably killed the housekeeper. I'll explain all that.
Definitely.
His kids, I think, that one kid of his, I think, killed the gay kid on the road.
Right.
That seemed like a hate crime. It's very complicated. But to think you might have done all that because you're broke. I know people have killed their wives. Lots of people kill their spouses when shit goes down. But your kid?
Yeah.
And they had this giant, like, farm area deal, and they were out by the kennels feeding the dog. And they have dogs. And she always said, come out with me to the kid. It's a little ways away from the house. And he just rocks up and shoots him. They got one kid left.
Yeah.
What's that kid thinking?
It's awful.
Yeah, I'm certainly not visiting Looney Tunes in jail.
Nope.
No way, Peepaw. Not happening. Update.
Mandy Matney needs an award.
Mandy Matney does it. She'll get an award for something, however that works.
It's awesome.
So remember our Alabama fugitives?
Yeah.
Casey White and the lady, Vicky, who helped him escape, and then they went on the run with no plan. The prisoner who prompted a nationwide manhunt when he disappeared this spring from an Alabama jail, he's been charged with the killing of the corrections official authorities who helped him escape. So they're charging him with killing Vicky. Now, we had heard that when the car went in the ditch, they were on the run from the cops at the Popo, that she shot herself. Now, they're not saying he shot her, but I don't know how they're going to...
Have we heard the whole...
The indictment alleges that during the escape, White caused the death of Vicky White, who died from a gunshot to the head. The indictment does not specify who pulled the trigger. Well, I think that kind of matters.
Yeah.
I mean, if she thought
murder trial.
shit were at the end of the road and you just blow your own head off, I don't know necessarily that guy...
Right.
I don't know. She's an adult. I mean, authorities have said she died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Correct. Maybe we could get Mandy Matney on this. Somebody else do the work. White pleaded not guilty in an arraignment hearing. Defense attorney Mark so-and-so said the defense previously pointed blame at Vicky White for the escape, saying Casey White was in her care and custody the entire time of his disappearance from jail. Well, it's kind of true. Yeah, so that's just a little update on our Alabama fugitives. Now he's getting charged. I don't know how you can do that, but I guess they can.
I feel bad for her family.
Update on one of our rioters.
Great.
Capitol riot with the Confederate flag. Remember that guy
Yep.
that was walking around? He gets 5 months in prison. Boom.
That's it?
It's not a lot. I know. These people go crazy.
Totally.
A police officer's body camera captured Blair, his last name's Blair, walking in front of the police line yelling, "Hell no, quit backing up. Don't be scared. We're Americans." He was arrested after he pushed his lacrosse stick against an officer's chest. The officer responded to the push by striking him 3 times in the head with a baton, drawing blood and giving him a concussion. He pleaded guilty in March to a felony of interfering with law enforcement during a civil disorder, which carries a maximum sentence of 5 years in prison. So he's lucky.
Yeah.
5 months. You won't even know what happened.
No.
He thought he had the right to be where he was. He didn't understand why he was in any trouble for that. Blair didn't enter the Capitol. He told her he went to fight Antifa, not to disrupt Congress from carrying out certification of the election. He also said he'd been trading social messages with somebody who often made anti-Semitic remarks and blamed Israel for the world's problems. So easy to do, right? Blame Israel. I blame Oprah. They choose Israel. Blair further explained that as a result of these discussions, he came to believe that the United States was falling apart and that he had to stand up to communism. What communism? No, I don't think they fully understand. He, on January 6th, he was wearing a skull-themed neck gaiter and a backpack containing a knife with a serrated blade and a roll of duct tape. He told police he used the duct tape to attach the Confederate flag to his lacrosse stick. And why are you carrying the Confederate flag? It always amazes me when it's up north. Like, I've seen it in New Hampshire. I'm like, you were on the winning team. Why are you posting the losing team's banner? It's one thing if it's in the South. Okay, that was your team. They all the ones that cheered on. It's just halftime, motherfucker. Okay, whatever. He thought he knew displaying the flag, widely viewed as a symbol of racist hate, would antagonize any ideological opponent he might encounter. No, we just think you're an idiot.
Right.
You're not antagonizing me. I just go, look at that dipshit. How much did he spend on that? How much did that cost you?
Did you actually play lacrosse?
A Maryland man who used a lacrosse stick to attach to the 5 years. So there's our little rider update. There you go, folks. That's what happens when you bust into the Capitol and you don't do what the popo say. You're gonna go to your little prison for 5 months. Update. This one's on Mark Zuckerberg. We're turning up the heat at Meta so employees will quit. He's turning into Elon Musk. I think he's taking Elon's. Performance expectations as the company prepares for an economic downturn, CEO Mark Zuckerberg bluntly revealed this week. His frank admission during a Q&A where he said he warned that a recent slump in the markets might be one of the worst downturns we've seen in history. Realistically, there are probably a bunch of people at the company shouldn't be here, he said. Well, nobody's playing in your metaverse, Mark. So you probably do have too many employees because at this point, one would be too many.
Right.
Because I don't know one person that says, "Oh, I was in the metaverse all day."
Yeah.
Nope.
Wow.
Part of my hope by raising expectations and having more aggressive goals and just kind of turning up the heat is that I think some of you might decide this place isn't for you, and that self-selection is okay with me. He plans to slow its hiring, plans for engineers by at least 30% this year, adding roughly 6,000 or 7,000 workers rather than the 10,000 it initially expected to hire. Some roles that are empty will stay unfilled as Meta dials up the pressure on current employees.
Great.
The company was rocked last month. A stunning resignation from COO Sheryl Sandberg. We all knew that. It enacted a hiring freeze in May after the company grew just 7% in the first quarter. That marked its slowest rate of growth since Facebook went public. Company representatives said no layoffs are planned. He wants people to show up at work, and he wants them to work harder. I don't know. I mean, I guess if you're a youngster and this is your first job, you go, okay, I'll do it. I'll take it. You know, you could probably learn some stuff, but...
Maybe.
Why? Yeah. Well, I guess they don't have a lot of the youngsters don't have the choice of who you're going to work for. You take the gig. I get it. I've worked for a lot of people I don't want to work for, but he's just so the culture of it all. Yeah, I can't. Holy shit! They found it. This is so great, so great, and all the termites sent it to me, and I had just seen it at the exact time everybody started sending it. When Vincent van Gogh was low on money, he took to painting on both sides of the canvas, but over the years, some of his reverse side paintings were covered up and lost. Now, another hidden self-portrait has been discovered, this time at the National Galleries of Scotland. Moments like this are incredibly rare. Francis Fall, current senior curator of French art. We have discovered an unknown work by Vincent van Gogh, one of the most important and popular artists in the world. They're going to have to add this to the new Van Gogh, to the Van Gogh experience, immersive.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
But here's the question. I was actually trying to picture this. Like if you bought it, or if you're a gallery, there's no paintings that have two sides that I know of. No. So I guess you'd have to put
Not
it...
on display.
Right, you'd have to put it like in a glass case.
And twirl it.
Yeah, twirl
Like
it.
a spinner.
Or let the people twirl.
You can't let people touch it.
No, let the people walk around it in a circle. Twirl. Yeah. The self-portrait, this is crazy, was revealed during an X-ray of an 1885 painting by Van Gogh called Head of a Peasant Woman, as the museum was prepping for an upcoming exhibition on Impressionism, which is scheduled to open at the end of the month. Hidden from overview for over a century, the portrait is on the back of the canvas of Head of a Peasant Woman, is covered by layers of glue and cardboard. Oh, how are you going to get that off? Experts believe that the materials covering the newly self-discovered portrait were applied in the early 20th century before art went on display. When we saw the X-ray for the first time, we were hugely excited. Such a major discovery happens once, twice in a conservator's lifetime. Senior painting so-and-so said in a, we don't know, it doesn't matter what this lady, really, she's just saying how excited they are. You can see it if you go, we'll put it in the schnotes.
Schnotes!
You can totally tell it's a self-portrait. I mean, it's him, like 100%, like definitely. And it's sad, like he was so cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. He didn't even have enough money for extra canvases.
No.
And his poor brother, Theo did everything you can do for having a brother back in the 1800s who's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Like,
Very talented.
very talented. And smart enough to know when he was going super cuckoo, he would just go in and check himself into the psych ward.
Yeah.
A lot of crazy people won't do that. So, good for him. Hey, you know what? I'm feeling a little cray-cray today. I'm going to go on and check myself in.
Bye-bye.
It's not clear whether it would be possible to uncover the hidden self-portrait, but that doesn't mean you can't see it. An X-ray image of the ghostly portrait will be part of the upcoming exhibit. Oh, that's a good idea. Viewable using a special light box. The museum describes the newly discovered image as a bearded sitter in a brimmed hat with a neckerchief loosely tied at the throat. He fixes the viewer with an intense stare, the right side of his face in the shadow and his left ear clearly visible. The self-portrait isn't the first hidden of Van Gogh's to be discovered, and it might not be the last. Other double-sided works have been uncovered previously, including at the Van Gogh Museum in Amsterdam, which I've always wanted to go to, and I've never been. The famous artist also painted over his work at times. Sad times. But what a great discovery. How awesome is that? A new reason to want to go to Amsterdam and go to that museum, as if I didn't have enough reasons to begin with. Holy shit, they found it! I've got good holy shits, they found it this week.
Good.
This is just not quite like that, but a 200-year-old pristine cobalt mine has been discovered in Cheshire, northwest England, revealing a trove of personal objects left behind by workers. The mine, which had been in production during the Napoleonic Wars, was found in Alderley Edge Village. It's believed to have been abandoned in 1810, according to the press release from the UK Conservation Charity on the National Trust. Leather shoes. Isn't that crazy? You just walk in and find time stopped. Right then.
That's cool.
Leather shoes, clay pipes, a metal button from a jacket, and mine machinery were among the items found. How creepy. Inscriptions written in candles, soot, were also uncovered. Inscriptions written in candle soot were also uncovered, as well as a clay bowl which superstitious miners may have buried in the wall to show their gratitude for a good quality of mineral. Other discoveries include physical imprints from mine workers, such as fingerprints in the clay used to carry candles, and the indentation of a corduroy from a worker's clothing where he rested against the wall. Ooh, members of the Caving Club made the discovery last fall, and then they just announced it all, probably so they didn't want people going down there. That'd be really cool.
Yeah, that's
Bring it up.
Yeah.
Bring it up.
Do it.
Or leave it there in honor of them.
Maybe.
It's already been kind of like a grave, you know? This is great. Holy shit, they found it. It's my last one, so don't panic if you hate this segment. Oh, damn, there goes my Loch Ness Monster. Secret population of polar bears found living in seemingly impossible habitat.
Wow.
That's good news. We need more polar bears. We're running out. No, I don't really know why. Well, I mean, I know why we're running out, but a secret population of polar bears in Greenland has been discovered in a seemingly impossible habitat, one that for most of the year lacks the floating platforms of the sea ice the beasts used to hunt. The unusual group, which scientists previously thought was part of another nearby population, has been in hiding in plain sight for hundreds of years. The bears live on steep slopes and float around fjords, long and narrow coastal inlets where the glaciers meet the oceans, and hunt on a patchwork of ice that breaks up in these inlets. The new discovery suggests that some polar bears, at least, may be able to adapt to sea ice disappearing as climate change worsens. Well, that'd be good if they can figure it out. Maybe they got one smart bear. Maybe the other people don't have a smart bear.
What's smart?
Yeah. Until recently, scientists had identified 19 known subpopulations of polar bears. One of those populations spans a 2,000-mile stretch of eastern coast of Greenland. But when researchers took a detailed look at the group to monitor their numbers, they realized the bears actually comprised of two completely separate populations. Researchers analyzed 36 years' worth of tracking data from bears tagged with GPS collars, blah, blah, blah. So if these little bears can figure out how to live like this, you know, there's 300 of them. It's a lot.
They teach each other.
Yeah. It's hopeful because you'd hate to see them just gone, you know?
Yeah.
Well, we found them. 300 bears, nobody counted.
Nope.
Unaccounted for. Unaccounted for bears.
Secret polar bears.
You know, I follow all my sharks on Twitter and stuff, the ones they tag, the great whites. And my brother's been at the Jersey Shore for the week. And every day I send him a new ping of a shark that's somewhere in New Jersey. And then I wanted to see if he was paying attention or just placating me. And I said, "You're safe from Breton." There's a shark called Breton. He's 15 foot long, or 13 feet long. He's like the one in Jaws. He weighs 1,500 pounds. Yeah, but he's down in Florida. I just wanted to check if my brother was just reading my text or just answering like a jackass. So I go, Breton could also be coming up for dinner. He was down in Florida, though. Speaking of crazy animals. Okay, well, I got a lot. All right. America. This is what we do all summer. We get attacked by animals in Yellowstone because we refuse to listen. And then tourists keep falling off of shit, trying to take selfies or trying to get their phone that they dropped.
Right.
U.S. tourist falls into Mount Vesuvius after taking selfie. You fell into an active volcano.
Come on.
Yep. American tourist fell into Mount Vesuvius, an active volcano in Italy, after trespassing to take a selfie. The 23-year-old man who dropped his phone and tried to retrieve it after the selfie fell several meters into the ash crater before being saved by nearby park officials. I say let him go.
Yeah.
Stop it. But he's only 23. You're allowed to be stupid when you're young, but he sustained minor injuries. The man, who's not been named, allegedly walked on an unauthorized path to reach the summit of Mount Vesuvius at 1,281 meters. I mean, you know the park officials are like, God damn it. I'm not going to go get another one of them. I'm not. It's an active volcano and you fell in. He believes the man went on the unmarked path because tickets for visiting Vesuvius, which are limited to 2,700 a day, were all booked. The man had come to the opposite side of the crater, where visitors are not permitted. Around 3 p.m., local news sources reported that the park's volcanic guides had spotted volcanological guides had spotted some people in the upper part of the crater, an area forbidden. The guests immediately started moving down to the area and were able to come to the man's rescue after seeing him attempt to retrieve his cell phone. Wow. I mean, what's the matter with you? Right. He had injuries on his arms and legs. There were 3 family members with him, but he believes that only one of the other Americans is related to the man who fell. God. I mean, just dumbass. Yeah. I can't, with the dumbasses, like, especially, you're not supposed to be in that part of the park. No. And you know what? There were 2,700 tickets. Why didn't you get your ass online and buy yourself a ticket before they sold out? How many times are you going to be at Mount Vesuvius in your life? 23. He is 23, but I know that's why I'm saying, okay, you get it. I didn't say his name. I don't even know his name. You don't need to be...
we'll put it in the schnauze.
Put it in the schnauze. I got to go to my... This is great. So many termites sent this to me, too. And I think it came up on my thing quickly because I always have a Google alert on Bigfoot. My Google alerts are really important. And then I wonder if those kids at Sprint, when I leave my phone with them, I'm like, I hope they look at my Google alerts.
Totally.
I hope they look at the shit I hope. Go ahead and research everything I'm researching. See how way too long till your brain explodes. Mm-hmm. Oklahoma man says Bigfoot made him kill his fishing partner.
Come on.
You got to get a look at Larry Sanders. That's his name. He's 53 years old. He's charged with first-degree murder after allegedly admitting first to a family member and later to police that he killed his noodling. They were noodling. Oh, come on. Now, for those of you termites who may not know that I'm actually a comedian in real life, I have a special called Bothering Jesus. It's audio, or it's on Netflix if you want to go watch it. And I do a pretty long for me, a long bit about noodling.
We'll put it in the schnauze.
In Missouri, and versus also Oklahoma. But it's legal in Oklahoma, noodling. And then Missouri had a big fight about it. And then they said it was legal for like a 2-week deal. And then I think they made it illegal again. Not sure the current status, but I know it's legal in Oklahoma. That's why the Missouri people are pissed. They got to drive all the way to Oklahoma to noodle. And I say, good, get them over there. Keep them.
Keep them.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's so dangerous. Mainly because of snakes, to me. That would be my biggest fear, noodling. Well, first of all, I don't want to get in a muddy, like the Mississippi. I mean, there's parts of Mississippi that are fine and nice, but not where these guys are. And they want murky water for catfish. He said he killed his noodling fisher partner, Jimmy Knighton, who Sanders claimed wanted him dead by the hand of the mythical monster Bigfoot. Bigfoot told Larry to kill Jimmy while they were noodling. I mean, there's so many layers.
I don't walk up to the bank and go, hey, man.
Noodling is a popular fishing technique used in the southern United States to catch a fish by sticking one's hand in its mouth. Now, a lot of you that may not understand what I just said, you're going to need to go to the Schnotes and watch my joke about it. And I'll explain it. I explain it thoroughly in the joke. So his statement said that Mr. Knight had summoned Bigfoot to come and kill him. And that's why, so Larry thought that Jimmy summoned Bigfoot to kill Larry. So he obviously has to kill Jimmy. Right. That's why he needed to kill him. Wow. He said that the cop said the confession always makes it easier. But the difficulty came to trying to find his body, which had floated over on the river currents. It was not discovered until more than 24 hours later. He said the authorities arrested Sanders on an outstanding warrant and charged him with murder only after Knighton's body was retrieved from the riverbed. You still have to prove all the elements of the crime and what the suspect is telling you. You have to prove that's what actually happened. He said the local prosecutor would likely push for the death penalty if he's found guilty.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Well, I think he sure is. Yeah. I mean, he said he did it. But there was a part of the article where it said he was on something. The cop said it seemed like he was really on something. I'm like, yeah. Right. I mean, I'm sure I'm guessing meth. He looks methy. You look methy.
Yeah. Looking methy.
You go, Oklahoma.
Bigfoot told me to do it.
No. He's saying that Jimmy had summoned Bigfoot to kill him. Right. So therefore, he had to kill Jimmy. He wasn't talking to Bigfoot.
Of course not.
No. He's above that. He's way above that.
Wow, come on.
You go, Oklahoma. Starbucks. Who doesn't like Starbucks, right? Will permanently close 16 of its stores in, quote, woke cities across the U.S., including Seattle, L.A., Portland, Philadelphia, and D.C., after staff are accosted by customers high on drugs. Now, only because I thought of this, and I've seen it more than once. So when I worked Portland, I worked downtown at the Arlene Schnitzel Pretzel. It's hard to say, whatever. The concert hall. It's very fancy. It's very nice. Arlene Schnitzel Pretzel, whatever. I can never say it right, so I gave up. But Arlene, I'm sure, was a lovely lady. But anyway, I do that gig, and it's downtown, and I stay downtown. Sometimes I've moved a couple times, but I'm always in the downtown area. And I've gone to the Starbucks on the corner, and there's all these kids. It's just the children are working in there trying to do a really good job. And then one day, I was in, there are quite a few homeless people in downtown Portland, and I think it got worse over COVID and stuff. And I know this isn't funny, okay, but it was shockingly funny the way it played out. So there was a crazy person, a crazy guy, and I saw him. He wasn't the only crazy person in there, and believe me, if I'm the most sane person in your Starbucks, you have a problem. And I don't cause any problems. But this guy jumped over, a homeless guy jumped over the glass counter. And the kids were all just like, Michael, you know you can't do that. Like they knew him, like that he does this frequently. Where if you're a kid, you're a 21-year-old girl or guy. I mean, Michael wasn't small. He wasn't huge, but my brother's size, 5'10", 175. But his jumping ability, I'm like, they should sign him for the Trailblazers. That was fucking crazy. He was like Spider-Man, and he had a blanket around him. It was like he was a flying squirrel. He became like airborne with his blanket. But then he landed, and then I thought, well, Michael, what are we going for here? You want to jump back and make your own coffee? You can't. The food, I think he wanted to get in the food, but you had to get behind the glass to get the food. Right. So the kids gave him something, and he left. Like a bird. And I said to the one girl, I go, you guys know him? She's like, yeah, he comes in like at least 3 times a week and tries to jump over the cake glass. The whole counter. And I'm like, oh, wow, I would certainly stand back and let him try. I mean, I'm not going to stop the guy, right? But so when they say this, I don't disbelieve it. I mean, it's too crazy. The kids, even at the one hotel in Portland, and I have a blast in Portland, and there's plenty Voodoo Donuts. I know everybody loves it, but I just like going there to see what they got. Bloody Marys. I love their Bloody Marys. There's one of the oldest Irish bars. Well, I think it is the oldest Irish bar in Oregon's down there. It's just the problem is lately of homeless people being downtown. One of the girls said that she switched hotels, and because I went to a different hotel, I don't know, remember why, no specific reason. And I said, didn't you used to work at the other hotel? And she said, yeah, but like there's so many homeless people over there. I go, we are only 2 blocks away. Right. Like, I think I switched because the one was sold out. I didn't do it in time or whatever. I didn't do it with any real reason. But to her, that 2 blocks makes all the difference. So I don't really understand, but some of these downtown locations, this shit is really happening. Yeah. Brazen members of the public. That's what they're saying. The reported disruptions include drug use by paying customers and, more often than not, members of the public who often take advantage of the company's open bathroom policy, which allows non-paying patrons to use their facilities. Well, I'd rather have them use the bathroom and leave than I would all the jackasses that I see make it their whole home office all day. You buy once a cup of coffee and you sit here for 8 hours. Move it on, Toodles. You can't. We're not a public library. Like, we're trying to sell shit here. I mean, I'm not really the biggest Starbucks. The children in Starbucks, though, I think work their asses off. And the one in Kansas where I was just at, too, all those kids, like, and you could tell it was Salina, Kansas. It's not a very big town. And they're like, they got tattoos and they crazy colored hair. And I'm like, good for you. Be weird in Kansas. I'm sure. But there were a lot of them. It wasn't just like one kid was really going, you know, hey, I'm going to dye my hair purple and pink. But they all did a great job. And I watch them and I think, I can't even make a regular cup of coffee. Right. Not one. I can't even imagine doing this shit all day long. I would kill myself. Right. Well, get a key for the bathroom. How easy is that?
There's a code, usually. There's usually a code you can buy.
Right, the code. Right. Yeah. So anyway, if you're in one of these cities, yours might be closing. Philly, DC. I don't know if I've ever been to one in DC. Portland. Sad times. I know exactly which one they're probably gonna close too. Mm-hmm. And guess who's gonna be really sad? You. Michael. Yeah, true. Michael's going to have to move on. Yeah. Move on down the road, Michael. Move on down. Here's something if you're in Missouri. Rare brain-eating infection found in Missouri patient. Here's how to protect yourself. Okay. They announced Friday the discovery of a rare but threatening brain-eating infection in one Missouri resident called, I'm not even going to try to say it. Okay. The acronym is PAM. PAM. The infection is caused by a microscopic single-celled free-living amoeba found in fresh water called something. The person would ended up in intensive care. But see, I always worry about warm fresh water in the summer. The amoeba is commonly found in warm fresh water, such as lakes, rivers, and ponds. It's extremely rare. Since 1962, only 154 cases have been identified. The only other case identified in Missouri resident occurred in 1987. Wasn't me. Currently, no additional, they're not. But I don't understand why we're not testing the waters for these things.
I don't know.
Is it just hot states? But everywhere's hot now. Doesn't even matter.
Right.
So
follow the armadillo.
Missouri, here's the thing. I wouldn't get in if you have an open wound. That would be my advice as a non-doctor.
Don't drink the water.
They travel up the nose to the brain where it destroys brain tissue. It cannot be spread from person to person. It cannot be contracted by swallowing contaminated water. It's got to go through your nose to your brain.
Oh. No.
Heads up, Missouri. No. Now, I liked this story because I often wonder this myself. Mm-hmm. What the hell happened to the Gap, the store?
Oh, yeah.
Right? Because I used to love the Gap. Yeah. You go in, you get your summer T-shirts. They're $25. You might have to throw them out at the end of the summer, but they were great for the summer. Mm. Then, and I haven't even read this yet. I just printed it. I read the first paragraph. Then I feel like none of their stuff was even cute anymore, but more importantly, it was like you get two washes out of it. Just shitty, cheap, bad clothing where they were way different. Yeah, ill-fitting. The cuts are different and weird. Like, I quit shopping there 100 years ago just because I was like, this is just bad now. This is crazy. I didn't know any of this. In 1969, real estate investor Don Fisher opened a store in San Francisco, aimed at teens and college kids, offering Levi's blue jeans alongside records and tapes. Yeah, I don't remember. Well, I mean, I wasn't old enough to be in a Gap yet. Fisher planned to call the stores pants and disc, but his wife came up with the winning name, The Gap, shorthand for the generation gap. I had no idea. The Gap, right?
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
The Gap capitalized on the rise of denim and the go-to look of a generation for young Americans, and then expanded into khakis, T-shirts, tops, hoodies, and other basics. The brand won over everyone from moms to office workers to celebrities like Sharon Stone, who wore a black Valentino skirt and a $26 mock Gap turtleneck to the Academy Awards in 1996. I didn't know that. At the time, it was a symbol of cool and casual, as ubiquitous as McDonald's, and centrally managed as the former Soviet Union, and as American as Mickey Mouse. The Gap has you covered from cradle to grave, the New York Times said. Wow. That was in 1992. But sales at the flagship Gap have slumped for years and has become an afterthought for many American shoppers. The company's other brands, including Old Navy and Banana Republic, have also struggled. Yes. Yeah. I mean, Old Navy's good to take the kids, because it's only going to last a while. Right, a week, an hour. Banana Republic, I have no reason to go in there. I haven't been in there in forever. I don't even know. Like, when I had a real job, I had to buy, work pants, but I don't ever think of them for anything fun. No.
No, it's like your first job.
Yeah, your first job, you got to go suit up. On Monday, the company announced that CEO Sonia Singhal would step down after less than 3 years. Yeah, she needs to go. She will be replaced by interim CEO while the company searches for a permanent leader. I'm not really into style, so I'm probably not available. I'm probably not a good choice. But I have friends that do that for a living that would be way better. I also felt like the Gap at some point just started throwing out piles of shit.
Yeah.
Like, here's a pile of T-shirts. Nobody was even folding stuff anymore. And I'm like, look, I think the last time I was in the Gap, this is how long it was. The girl kept going, do you want to buy something red? And I go, no, I don't wear red because I have red hair and I have red skin. I have pink skin. I look terrible in red. Why do you keep trying to get me to buy something red? Because she followed me around the store for like 15 minutes. She goes, this would be cute on you. She goes, oh, because Bono and Oprah got together and they have this campaign.
Oh, Project Red.
Right, that if you buy red,
Yeah.
she goes, we can save everybody in Africa. I go, really? Really? We could save everybody in Africa? I go, but then what are we going to do about the Chinese children at the factory that aren't getting paid to make this shirt? They're just getting a free food.
Right.
And she goes, what? I go, I know. See how it says made in China? Maybe we could fix that first. Right. She's like, yeah, okay. And then I knew she wouldn't come near me anymore. Like, do you want to make this hard? Yeah. I said no the nice, easy way. You won't quit telling me to buy. Maybe I'd have done it if it was blue or black, but I just don't buy red. Nope. Nah. Anyway, let's keep going. That's the last time I was probably in there for real.
Project Blue.
And yeah, it was so disappointing because one of my favorite T-shirts ever way back was from the Gap. It was blue and white striped, great summer shirt. No idea. Nope. The Gap rode into expansion The Gap rode the expansion of suburban malls in the 80s and 90s, becoming one of the largest stores in the mall. And nobody's really going to the mall anymore. So its fortunes have likely been tied to those malls. Great news in the 90s, but awful news now. Malls have been rapidly losing customers to online shopping and big box stores. Gap said in 2020 that it was closed 30% of its Gap and Banana Republic stores in North America by 2024. Over the decades since the mall heyday, the Gap fell out of touch with baby boomers who grew up on the brand, and it failed to attract Gen Z and millennials. Right. Yeah, because technically I'm Gen Z.
You are?
Yeah. I'm the older part of Gen Z.
Yeah, you are.
I know, but I'm not a boomer. I'm not old enough to be a boomer. At the same time, well, you had the Gen Z people. You had all of us. You guys blew it.
Right.
Clothes are dog shit.
Yep.
And you want me to buy red, and it won't.
All the time.
So that Oprah and Bono can save everybody in Africa. And then I said, oh, yeah, sorry. I go, from what? She goes, what? I go, what are we saving them from?
Right.
Everybody. But there's happy people in Africa somewhere. Is this a specific group? She didn't even, I mean, I was just fucking with her just because I knew she wouldn't even register that I was doing that, otherwise it would seem mean. She didn't register.
No.
At the same time, brands and retailers such as Levi, Target, and fashion Sellers, H&M. Yeah, they got the kids.
Yeah.
Well, it's not for me, but the kids like it. And Zara lured away the Gap's denim shoppers. Yep. Direct-to-consumer brands have also chipped away at the Gap's audience. The Gap is a long way from its heyday. The Gap also cannibalized its own brand with similar styles at Old Navy and Banana Republic. I always felt like Old Navy was shittier than the Gap,
Yeah.
but then I felt like I'd rather go to Old Navy.
Well, maybe has good
But
sleep pants.
sleep pants, also known as pajama pants,
Yeah, that.
sleep pants. Hey, don't forget to pack your sleep pants. It's a sleep pants. You sound like you're 1,000.
Not night pants.
Has anyone packed my sleep pants? The Gap has tried several strategies to revitalize its flagship brand, including a partnership with Kanye West for a line of Yeezy brand clothing.
Oh.
Yeah, but the partnership hasn't meaningfully lifted sales. I didn't even know he did that.
No.
Its initiatives have been piecemeal rather than a part of a coherent grand plan of reinvigoration. What's more is the brand is increasingly less significant to the company. Old Navy and Athleta are its future. But see, I feel like Athleta's going down.
Yeah,
The quality is going down. But they're part of the Gap.
Yeah.
I know that because when I order something from them, it arrives in a Gap bag, and then I go, what the fuck did I buy from the Gap? Nothing. And then I open it, it's from the Athleta. Yeah. They will represent 70% of the Gap's total sales by 2023. Whoever becomes the Gap new leader won't be the first CEO to face challenges. Mickey Drexler, known as the Merchant Prince, was the person who built the Gap into the powerhouse. Blah, blah, blah. We don't need to know that. I don't know. They're going to see if they can reverse the tide. I think you could.
I think it's too late. You got to start with the kids.
Start with the children. Well,
None of us believe.
you know what they could do? Throwback rock concert t-shirts.
Totally.
Yeah. Something like that. You got to do something and put it on Instagram to get the children and the TikTok. Make the people come. And then, but you need the quality to go back up. You can't be cheapskates. And
People will pay money for that.
yes, they will.
I'm glad we fixed that.
I'm glad we fixed the Gap. How about this? A case of single malt Scottish whiskey sells for a record 16 million euro, and they're the same now, so that's $16 million, to an Asian buyer. Wow. And a tiny Scottish village gets a $1 million windfall from a distiller. A distillery donated $1 million to the local community after a record sale of an ultra-rare whiskey cask to a mystery collector. It was sold in early July, smashing the previous record of $1 million. Yeah, 16. I'd say you sure should not. Well, euros, whatever, same.
Wow.
Yeah, who? I want to know who did it. They know it's an Asian. How do they know that? Are they not telling us? Oh my God! The cask will be bottled over the course of 5 years, giving the buyer around 440 bottles of Ardbeg whiskey, which cannot be replicated for a decade. I've never heard of it. Ardbeg. Wait.
Ardbeg?
Ardbeg. 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 Ardbeg.
Never heard of it.
Ardbeg.
And I like
Jesus, say it like a Scottish person.
Ardbeg.
Ardbeg.
Keep going.
Much of the whiskey distilled at the Ardbeg in the 70s was sold with only a small amount set aside for single malt whiskey from the time especially rare, making whiskey from that time especially rare. To celebrate, they donated $1 million to the island of Islay. Yeah, the CEO said this sale is a source of pride for everyone in the Ardbeg community who made our journey possible. Just 25 years ago, it was on the brink of extinction, but today it's one of the most sought-after whiskeys in the world. How have I never heard of it? It's weird.
I've never heard of it.
This is a reflection of generations of hard work from those in the still house who craft our smoky spirit, to the warehouse staff who care for our cask over decades, to teams who built the reputation of our whiskey with fans, bartenders, and collectors. That's fantastic for that little town. Yeah, $16 million for 440 bottles. At least I understand that more than an NFT,
All of a sudden,
and I understand it more
good at math.
than it's a lot.
Whiskey math.
Whiskey math. It's alcohol math. Count the bottles. It's drinkable. It's giftable. I understand that more than the dinosaur skeleton people are going to go pay their right arm for. It's crazy to do. I don't know. Oh my God, this is crazy too. Well, now I really know.
We're gonna start that.
The number one city in the world to travel and work remotely is in the United States. And it isn't New York or LA. Now, this is a very strange category, though. Travel and work remotely. So you got to work in the day, but you want to do stuff at night.
Okay.
This is who made the top. Americans don't need a passport to get to the number one global city to take a working vacation. Kansas City, Missouri.
No way.
Yeah.
They've never been to that.
Was named the best city in the world to work during the day and explore after hours without having to use too much of your PTO time, according to recent analysts from Iceland Air. So they do these travel things. Maybe they don't fly to Kansas City. It's not like they're trying to push people to go.
You know what you're gonna do?
Kansas City, known for its barbecues, jazz scene, and having more fountains than Rome. They're very proud of their fountains, and there are a shit ton of fountains. It's crazy, though, in the winter they keep them on and then they freeze. And then sometimes they put colors in it.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it is kind of cool.
Nice.
Looks like a bomb pop, except lots
Bomb pop?
bomb pop.
What's a bomb? Bomb pop?
I will tell you, Canada. In America, there's a creepy man who comes in an ice cream truck around your subdivision sometimes. And on the side of the truck, I don't know what you call it in Canada, you'll see an icy treat on a stick, and it is colored red, white, and blue. In the Midwest, anyway, we call those bomb pops.
Oh, it's a unicorn. Unicorn horn.
A unicorn horn, is that what they call them in Canada?
Yeah. Bomb pop.
Unicorn horn.
Way
Wow, you
better.
guys are bored. I don't know why we call it a bomb pop.
I don't either.
I don't either. Unicorn horn is way more sellable to especially little girls. Yeah.
I ate them all the time.
I would have. Yeah, I went for the ice cream with the hard chocolate on the outside.
Of course you did.
Yeah, the bomb pops. I'm like, too cold. You get a headache. Tourist attractions aside, the Iceland Air rankings consider metrics that paint a picture of the city's quality of life, cost of living, safety, healthcare, and how easy it is to work there. Internet speed, average working hours, data time for the United States. Here are the top 10 to take a working vacation. Kansas City, Missouri. And I'm from Missouri, and I have a blast in Kansas City. But number 2 is Vienna, Austria. I'd
Boring.
say yes.
So boring.
Vienna's boring. So is what's the one in Switzerland? Because everybody wants to go, and then I got there. I'm like, what's there to do? Geneva. Boring.
So boring.
Pretty, but I'm not a skier either, so I have no interest in all that. No. Wellington, New Zealand is number 3. I would think that'd be very hard to get to. Copenhagen, Denmark. Okay. Edinburgh, United Kingdom. Love it. Best castle. Kansas City beat Edinburgh. I mean, this is crazy. Victoria, Canada. Oh my God. So one time I went there with my mom and dad and my sister and and my brother and I think his girlfriend, and there was an extra person, I don't know. Somebody's thing at the time. And we got to Victoria Island and we were like gonna go touristing around. And everybody kind of started sneezing and stuff. We were allergic to something, and just whatever, flowers or something. And my mom said, "Oh, I have my allergy pills with me. You guys take this." Well, she gave us all a sleeping pill. We all we did was sleep in a park. Like somebody woke up 4 hours later. I think my sister goes, "What happened to us? Oh my God!" I'm like, I think Druggy the Clown over there gave us the All-Stars really whacked us. I go, God damn it. We only came up here for the day and now we've missed it because we're asleep like homeless people in a park. Well, I'm sorry. I thought they were in my allergy pills. Vicky. Perth, Australia is number 7. Frankfurt, Germany. Nah, I've been there. It was fine.
Yeah, it's very new.
Brisbane.
You know why.
And number 10 is Helsinki. Never been to Finland.
Me either.
Nope. Never been to Perth. It's too far.
Yeah, it's too far.
I've been to Australia quite a few times. I love Edinburgh. I can't believe that's 5. I could just look at that castle all night long.
It's beautiful.
And then the comedians used to have a funny joke. I think it was Mike Wilmot, my Canadian favorite comedian, who said, the wonderful thing about the castle in Edinburgh is that it doesn't matter how drunk you are, you know you're fine if you can see the castle. You just take a tip out of the bar in the alley and go, yep, it's still there. We're good. So I don't know why that made me laugh. That like Edinburgh, come on. I mean, Kansas City's got lots of fun stuff. It does.
Yeah.
But nothing is like show-stopping as the castle in Edinburgh. I mean, Jesus, that thing at night.
It's gorgeous.
It's literally awesome. I can't even believe somebody would present this idea as for reals, and they are presenting it for reals. Airline debuts next level bunk. Oh wait, no, this is the one. This is a good idea. This one's a good idea. I'll tell you the bad idea first.
Okay.
Airplane seat designer Alejandro Nunes Vincentes reckons his double-decker airplane seat could revolutionize budget air travel. So we're going to put a picture of this in the show notes.
What?
Basically, I'm down here where a normal seat would be, and then there's going to be a seat right above me, so I'm smashed into this tiny corner, and I guess they want me to stare at the back of that. I mean, talk about feeling claustrophobic, as if airline travel isn't shitty enough in economy. You want to put a person on top of me.
Right.
I mean,
That's awful.
nay. This is at the Aircraft Interiors Expo in Hamburg. They went to go try it out. CNN went. Flying economy for any extended period is usually endured. It's usually endured rather than enjoyed. But one airplane seat, he decides he's going to redo it. He's been making waves in the world of aviation. I mean, you couldn't get me to sit there. It's so goddamn claustrophobic.
Right.
And even if I was the one on top, then I'd feel bad the whole time I'm smashing somebody. I would just keep looking down and going, you okay? You all right? I feel bad.
What if you have long legs? Kick him in the head.
I don't know. He paused his master's degree, this guy, to pursue the project full time. He's in talks with big name airlines and seat manufacturing companies. He's been granted some hefty investment that allowed the project to develop. While some marvel at his innovation, others recoil, concerned about the claustrophobia and convinced sitting underneath someone else would be worse, not better than the current airplane economy setup. Yes.
Yeah, no, that's awful.
You get in the bottom?
No, it's awful.
I grow more from listening to critics and listening to the bad comments, he said. Well, I hope you're listening to this podcast, because I ain't sitting. I don't want to sit on top of someone and smash them, and I don't want to be smashed.
It's awful.
He's keen to hear. My purpose here is to change the economy class seats for the better of humanity. Well, what you could do for that is you just take out the middle seat.
Right.
Yeah, but nobody's ever going to do that. They want to smash us all in and make as much money as possible.
Right.
Or make the middle seat for pets only. I would like that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, that could get weird.
Of course it would get weird, but at least it'd be better than being smashed. I'd rather be smashed next to a beagle
Right.
than, or any kind of hound.
Beagle.
Any kind of
Maybe
hound.
put him in the hound group.
Or an English setter. He's set to receive. You got to see the picture in the notes, though.
Okay.
It just doesn't. No, I don't think so, dude. I don't think it's gonna be a winner. Who's gonna Who's gonna be the one that go, shit, I didn't buy my ticket on team. I got the bottom. I'm gonna be smashed for 8 hours. Now this though is a good airline idea. I like this idea. I don't know why somebody couldn't come up with this long ago.
Okay.
Economy class on long haul flights, it's long haul ones, are a nightmare. The seats aren't designed for the comfort of passengers, but making the long journey even more tedious and exhausting. I flew to Hong Kong in coach, so yeah.
Oh,
I know. It's horrible. But Air New Zealand has revealed plans to combat these issues. The airline is currently testing its SkyNest concept, which includes 6 full-length sleeping pods. According to CNN, passengers can stretch out and take naps on actual beds. That would be, well, here's the thing. They'll be included in the 787 Dreamliners, the new Boeing plane, scheduled to enter into service in 2024. They will be available on ultra-long 17-hour flights, a world first per UK, the SkyNest sleeping pods. The report added that 2 rows of 3 beds will be located between the premium and economy class cabins. So you got economy here, then you're going to have, that's where this pod thing is going to be.
okay.
The beds come with full-size pillows, bedding, earplugs, a reading light, and USB port and ventilation outlet. and the bedding will be changed between sessions to maintain hygiene. A typical sleep cycle is around 90 minutes, so a 4-hour session, you get it for 4 hours if you want, allows customers to wind down, fall asleep, and wake up. Okay, do you know how long it would take me to fall asleep? Under 5 minutes. I don't need the whole 4 hours.
You're asleep right now.
Yep. Never had that problem. 5 economy seats will be removed to make way for the 6 Skynest sleep pods, and the airline added a sky pantry to the premium economy and economy cabins, allowing customers to stretch their legs, grab a bite, and hydrate. Now, what it doesn't say is how much you got to pay for that.
That helps with the staffing issue. Go get your own stuff.
Well, right. Yeah, just go buy your own crap.
Fool you.
Maybe they're free. But what if everybody wants to do it? Right. I don't know. I think it's a great idea, though. If you have to go 17 hours and coach, let somebody go stretch out for an hour. I don't think you should get 4 hours in there.
There'll be fights. It'll be awful.
2.
It'll be awful.
There's not going to be fights.
There'll be fights.
Not if you had to do your thing. No. Netflix. They're going to lay off more people. What? Mm-hmm. The company's lost 70% of its value.
70?
70. Yeah. And reveals it shed nearly 200,000 subscribers. It expects to lose more. Okay, I can't even keep talking about the fact that you guys didn't know that.
Liars.
Or you just didn't choose to, there's they employ 11,000 staffers, which sucks for the people who have these jobs. It's expected to notify those impacted by the end of the week. It comes on the heels of a previous downsizing of the company prompted by the company losing 70% of its stock value since spring.
Yeah.
And yet I just read they're going to spend $200 million advertising a Ryan Gosling movie. Where'd that come from? One movie?
Somebody needs to be in charge.
Billboards, all that shit.
Wow.
Yeah.
Not cool.
Last month they laid off 150 full-time employees. Sucks for those people. And another 70 workers in its animation studios. Another 60 or 70 contracts were also let go. But we also just gave Harry and Meghan $150 million.
Maybe they can help.
Yeah. Many of those lost their jobs, worked on series and initiatives aligned with social justice causes. Streaming platform shed 200,000 subscribers in the first 3 months of the year and lost $54 billion in stock since in a single day in April.
Wow.
I'm going to read to you about that Ryan Gosling thing, but I hadn't had time to print out the article. But it's another move where you just go, guys, this is the problem. Now, what have I been watching? I watched, before I leave you people, you termites. I watched 2 things. Well, I watched The Girl in the Picture. Per my friend Rick Kearns told me to watch that. Well, it looked like very disturbing, and I didn't know if I was in a disturbing mood. Usually I am. I don't know. I liked it. I mean, it's very, very interesting. It's very disturbing, and it's true, and it's. But I didn't think it was. I don't know. I thought it was like kind of an advanced Unsolved Mysteries.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I guess I was expecting more. Yeah. I don't know.
Well, you watch a lot of ID Channel.
I do watch a lot of ID Channel. I mean, I have high standards. I watch many, many ID Channel things. I watch Killer Vengeance. I watch Evil Kin. Wives with Knives. I watch them all when I'm doing chores and I can have it on in the background. Living with a Serial Killer. Or what is it called? I didn't know. Lived with a killer.
The Murder Next Door.
The Murder Next Door. Yeah, Killer Neighbors, or what's that one called?
That's my favorite.
Yeah, that one's always, because you've got to think about that shit. And it really translates into real life. It teaches you.
Right.
Just let it go.
Right.
Let it go. And there was something else I watched on.
Girl from Plainville.
Oh, The Girl from Plainville.
Yeah. I watched that too. It's awful.
I did watch that.
I loved it.
That was extremely intriguing. I didn't know that the children, I mean, I know they're into, I know the basics, but I guess I didn't realize, I never thought about what if you've got a mentally ill kid on the end of the line, or there's 2 mentally ill kids. But that girl, you've all probably heard the story in the news. She's the one who texted the boy who was thinking about committing suicide. She kept encouraging it. And then at one point,
They were dating.
yeah, they were dating. And she's like, you know, yeah, if you want to kill yourself, you should totally do it. And then she read some quotes that it's a wonderful exit if you don't want to be here. Like really, really over the top. And she ended up, I mean, it's all, I won't blow it in case you haven't seen it. It's not all, it's public knowledge what happened to her. But I think the parents need to be held responsible too.
What are you doing in your room?
Well, how are you not to the kid who committed suicide, but to the ones whose kid is doing this? How do you not know any inkling? And her behavior after he killed himself was so bizarre. And the mom is just kind of checked out. Like, but like in a, you know, I'm a suburb, pretty blonde mom, and what's the matter, honey? And nothing. And then the dad's just like, I don't know, these teenage girls. They were a very seemingly normal, upper middle class. That one to me was better than the girl in the picture. I like the girl from, and there's many, many episodes of the Plainville one. Hulu's had some great stuff lately. Mm-hmm. And that's it, termites. So we have podcast shirts will be up probably by the time you hear this or the day after.
Follow social media. We don't know.
Yeah, just follow. Well, you guys already follow my social media. I'll tell you when I know the exact date because I emailed the people. The children. The children that helped me with the website and they helped me with all this stuff. And
How many we get?
they're on vacation. They're not working on Fridays in the summer. So I don't know the answer. But I will know when they come back to work. And I will tell everybody.
How was your weekend?
I got
What did you do this weekend?
this weekend a lot of tubing with the actual children, people that are 13 and younger, and got in the pool, and it's actually rained, so the pool was not as hot.
That's nice.
Yeah, because it's almost bath water. And then I started thinking, I wonder if I could call like an old, are there still, can you just call for a giant block of ice? Yeah. I don't think you can.
No.
It would take a very big block of ice. And then took the children to the Nashville Sounds versus what? The Memphis Redbirds.
Ew.
That's right. The Cardinals farm team.
Nice. Did you have fun?
Yeah, I do like it. It's fun. Here's the craziest thing, though. Well, this is a different game I took them to. So there was an outfielder for Charlotte, and his name was Blake, and first name. And there's all these kids that are boys and girls, but mostly boys at the time. They're anywhere from 8 to 12, maybe. And they've gathered, there's all these cool seats out in the grass, and they've gathered out there, and Blake, in the warm-ups, between innings, he threw him a ball, and I thought, oh, wow, Blake, that's like feeding cats. You just fed the cats. Well, then every time Blake would come out, they're like, Blake, throw us another ball, Blake, throw us another ball. And he did do it a couple more times. And he was like waving and stuff. Well, then I think he was probably going to get in trouble. You can't throw all the balls away. Like, it's minor league baseball. Like, what? Well, then they started heckling him.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and I said to my one nephew, you better not be doing that. I'm not. I'm like, you better not say a goddamn word. That is so mean. This man's life. He's basically probably making at best $75,000 a year, staying at a Fairfield Inn, trying to grind his way through life and get to the major leagues. He clearly hasn't made it yet, and now he's being heckled by 9-year-olds. Blake, you suck. Blake. I said, that's not how you treat somebody who did a nice thing. He's not going to keep doing it. But the minor league games are fun because it's just, there's a lot of kid-friendly things. They have like putt-putt golf. How fast can you throw the ball? The kids love that. And I like the beer.
Tall boys.
Yep, they have a good hot dog. Yep.
Delicious.
So that's it, termites. Have a good week. Countdown to Vegas. The Mirage. Boom. See you guys again. And then there's some crazy dates coming in 2023. They're already booking all that.
Yep.
Crazy fun things. I can't wait. I'm trying desperately to get back to like Portland, Maine, though. Like there's places I've worked and then I just don't know. I always go back, but sometimes the gap's too long. Petoskey, Michigan. Yeah, because I want to spend like time up there. So if I get the Saturday gig, I can stay the week. Anyway, nobody cares about all that. But upcoming shows, and then Niagara Falls, the Ontario side, the Canadian side. And I'm going to go to Buffalo first, and then I'm going to go on the tour, the Maid of the Mist. I've done it once.
Oh, really?
I love it. Niagara Falls is just amazing. It's amazing.
What's better, the Canadian or the U.S. side?
I don't know. I've never done the Canadian side. I've only done the U.S. side.
Maybe I'll go with you.
I don't know. Yeah. Termites, have you done both? I think the thing, that stratosphere-looking thing, the tower is on the Canadian side.
There's a bar there, yeah.
There's a bar. Well, that'd be fun.
I've been there. It's great.
Well, I want to go there. But I think the boat rides, the Maid of the Mist is on the U.S. side, and that's what everybody said. I Googled what's the best one. That's what everybody says. But then I don't know, is it hard to get, do they just let you go, do I show a passport? Or what? I'm going to be in Buffalo first, so I'll just go from there.
We'll go for some wings.
Nobody cares about all my problems.
We'll go for some wings.
How am I going to get to the bar at Niagara Falls? Kathleen, what are you Googling? How to get to a bar in Niagara Falls? Shut up.
Do you have a passport?
All right, termites. Be good, termites. You ready? Stay cool. Stay cool. Stay in the air conditioning if you can. It's so hot out there.
Happy July.
Happy July. Night, night.